Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to talk about hemp harvest heartbreak and how it's just been a really shitty week here on the farm. It's just no other way to put it, folks. But before we get into today's topics, if you wouldn't mind, if you are new here to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And for those of you that have already subscribed, thank you so much for the support. I really personally and truly appreciate it, and it really does get me through these tough weeks that we're going to talk about today. So folks, as far as retail goes, I don't even know if we made a sale this week, to be honest with you. It's been really poor, and lack of stock, and I just don't know. I don't have an excuse for it. We're working our hardest to get everything back up to speed here on the farm. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today, and I'm only going to touch on this subject a little bit because the main subject of today is being scammed by your seed provider or by your hemp provider, whether it was clones or seeds. I really do encourage everybody to go and check out last night's live stream. That's going to really hit this particular subject, and I'm only going to talk about it for a few minutes here, maybe not even a minute. If you guys didn't see the live stream last night, the short and skinny is that Virginia has closed its hemp program. That means that there is no more hemp program in Virginia. As of October 30th of 2020, the Virginia hemp pilot program has been dissolved, which means we will fall under federal control of the hemp program. That means essentially that if we want to continue growing hemp, we're going to have to go through the federal government, federal background check, and a whole host of other hoops and loops. And as of right now, I have no decision on that, and you can see my opinion on everything in that live stream. So that's part of the shitty news this week. The other shitty piece of news that we got was that our test results are rolling back in from our friends at Delta 9. And they were very confused by the samples we sent on us, not on them. And this goes into how well they communicate with me. I got a text message from them about midweek last week saying that I labeled these samples as CBG, and they can't find any CBG in the samples. They're coming back as CBD. They wanted to make sure that I didn't mislabel them or they were messing up something on the sample side. Well, come to find out that not only the desert snow, which we've been saying from the get-go, I mean, we're talking pre-planting day when we had seedlings, we knew we had problems with the desert snow genetics. So chalk that one up as not surprised. We cut down 3 plants that might look like they went Hermy back in July. I still stand behind that decision, and now more than ever, I firmly believe in that decision to get rid of those. I think it was 4 plants. It was 4 or 5 total. We got rid of them, and now the test results are coming back as they are just garbage CBD. Now, I don't say garbage. They're still providing a decent amount of CBD. They're still a decent CBD variety, whatever variety they may be. They're clearly not a CBG variety. So, no surprise, really. I was kind of anticipating that these things were just going to be junk plants. I mean, they look beautiful because we can grow really good plants here. But overall, I was not surprised. The genetic diversity in that seed group told me there was something wrong with these plants, that this seed provider had scammed us, and we saw that from 100 miles away. We knew we got scammed back in April. So, no surprise. The biggest surprise, though, folks, was OCCBG. Now, for those of you that know where OCCBG comes from, it's not hard to find a seed provider for that. And I'm not here to call anybody out, but that also came back with no CBG in it. And that was kind of the sting. Like the desert snow, I was bracing for absolute garbage. And they're okay CBD numbers. They're right around closer to cherry wine. They're between auto sweetened and our cherry wine where they kind of fall. So not terrible, but not great. Not like Biox or anything like that. But the OC CBG came in almost identical to the desert snow as far as CBD goes. No CBG. It had a small trace detectable amount of CBG, but hell, so does our Biox and cherry wine. So that doesn't. Our cherry wine has 1% CBG in it. So this is about the equivalent to our cherry wine, the amount of CBG that it has in it. So that was some really bad news. And when we talk about, hemp harvest heartbreak, this goes to show you that if you do not test early and you wait to harvest and then you send dry samples in, you could get a really big surprise. And this is why I tell people, yeah, we're growing CBG, but nowhere on our website does it say it's going to be provided. We don't have a waiting list for CBG. And that's because we didn't know what we had with our CBG. And I sure as heck wasn't going to go out on a limb and trust those breeders, even though one of them was fairly reputable. And I got to say, guys, I'm pretty disappointed. And this is why I do not recommend seed providers. And you go back and look at videos in the past, if you want to know where I stand on it, just take a look. I haven't changed my tune at all. It is by far the most scam-ridden part of the entire industry. And that goes back to why I think a lot of states are going to give up control to the USDA. And rightfully so, guys. We're doing it to ourselves. We're proving them right. When you get people like that in the industry, they're infiltrating the industry. They're scamming you. They're scamming me. And they're screwing everybody. And so that's my rant on that, guys. Stop screwing people over. If you don't know what you have for genetics, just say unknown. CBD/CBG variety. Figure it out. Don't just lie to somebody and say it's a 20% CBG variety just so you can make a quick buck. You're not going to get a returning customer. Not that they care, because they probably close up shop and move on to the next sucker. But you're sure as hell going to have a really bad rap, and you're just going to push people out of the industry. So, on top of all that crap this week, guys, it's been bad tests, USDA stuff, the federal government taking over the Virginia hemp program, and that's happening to a lot of states. I say Virginia because that's where I live. That's my permitting agency. But, guys, it's happening all over the country. The USDA laws that I ranted and raved about last year, it's all taking effect right now. And I told everybody that last year. Just because Virginia went under the 2014 Farm Bill didn't save us from anything after October. And clearly, it's not. So, rants aside, all this stuff, bad news this week. The plants are looking great. Here's some good news, because I like to always try to take a positive spin on things. We don't know where we're going to sit as far as growing next year. I was in the same boat last year. I'm going to tell you I'm in the same boat this year. I have no idea where we're going to be next year when it comes to growing. The only thing I can do is do my best with this year's plants and deal with it in the fall and in the winter. Now, again, go and check out the live stream from last night to get more information on what to do if your state is going to fall under federal jurisdiction when it comes to growing hemp. But I will say, one of the blessings that I have had this year with this crop is there has been almost non-existent pests. Now, some people have said they've had the worst pest they've had in years, that it's worse than last year. And I'm here to tell you that we are so far, knock on wood, we are good. We are good. I can count how many caterpillars I've picked out of there. I think it's like 10, maybe. Now, I attributed some of that to Azamax. Maybe Azamax is better than BT. Don't know. I don't have a side-by-side comparison to tell you guys if it is. But, as you can see, my Coast of Maine hat, I have been talking to Coast of Maine. And lobster meal, or lobster in general, or crustaceans, have an element in them. And I want to make sure I get this right. I believe is called cretin or chitin. Don't quote me on it. I'm still learning. That helps the plant be pest resistant. And I got to tell you guys, maybe it's the Azamax in combination with that, but you all know we dumped 80 pounds of lobster meal in this grow area this year. The results speak for themselves. The plants are huge. We're going to go down there, check them out, Flowers are looking beautiful. We're about a week and a half away from cutting our first cola, maybe even less than that. Really depends on how quick I can get that dry shed up and running, because the CBG varieties are ready to harvest their CBD, and we'll figure out a way to market them if we can, or it'll be a great practice for when Biox, Cherry Wine, Auto Sweetened, our three amigos are ready to go, because those are the only things that keep our farm afloat, those three genetics, I swear. The only thing that's been the same anyway. But everything's looking good. Pest has been, it's been a really easy year compared to last year. One thing I have noticed this year though is that we haven't had a lot of wind, and there's a lot of dead leaves in there. So I bought a leaf blower today actually, and I'm going to go in there this evening and blow out all the dead leaves. It's a common practice in this industry to use a leaf blower, and you kind of blow the inside of the plant, gets rid of a lot of the dead leaves. These plants naturally shed leaves during flower. They are concentrating their energy into the flower, no longer in the veg. Yellow leaves, dead leaves, perfectly normal. But you want to get rid of as many of them as you can, because that increases the chances of mold, it increases the chance of disease, and a whole host of other things that you don't want. So, leaf blower, always an easy trick. Get them out of there, blow it out of the plant. And it doesn't hurt the plant at all if you do it right. Maybe if you guys are interested in seeing that, it'd be a very loud, obnoxious video, but we could show leaf blowing the hemp plants if that's something you guys are interested in. Leave a comment below if that's something you guys want to see in the future. But yeah, guys, leave comments below. And again, I encourage you to check out other videos. I know we talked about making a compost tea. I just don't see it happening at this point, folks. I'm slammed busy getting the farm ready. I also have a full-time job, which I try to tell you guys, or I try to keep it out of most of my videos, but I'm a busy guy. And I just don't see how I'm going to be able to fit in a compost tea on top of it's been raining a lot. And I'm not going to oversaturate my plants for a YouTube video, because I'd be lying to you guys if I said I was feeding them to the plants, because I can't. It's just too moist in the ground. The ground is too saturated, and I don't feel comfortable making a compost tea. Top dressing, that's the way to go with all this rain. But guys, the plants are looking so good. I'm just kind of riding this out. I'm so busy with other stuff right now that I can't even be bothered with trying to give these plants an extra oomph when they don't even look like they need it. Last year we were in a completely different situation. If you guys are you find yourself in that situation where you guys look like the plants are starving or anything like that, you got runts, you're not getting a good flower, I encourage you guys to go back. There's a playlist on our YouTube channel called the 2019 Grow Season or something of that nature. It has all our videos from 2019. Go check them out. We're in a different situation this year, and I'm not going to rehash stuff that's not happening this year. If you guys find yourself in that situation, go check them out, or leave a comment below. I'll try to get to it. And guys, with the emails, I'm so backed up. I'm trying to get to you guys. But let's go check out the plants before we close out today's video. Okay, so here is the grow area. Look how pretty it is. And of course, I said there hasn't been a lot of wind, and of course, it's like 104. And there's actually a little bit of a breeze, but don't let that fool you. There really hasn't been a lot of wind. So you are going to see some dead leaves, but it's not going to be anything crazy. I mean, you can see a couple in there, but the plants look fantastic. Cherry Wine, Biox, the CBG row, and then we got Biox Berry, Afternoon Delight, and Auto Sweetened in that row. So let's head on in here. It is hot, guys. It is absolutely ridiculously hot today. I think it's 104. I don't even want to look at the temperature. But look how awesome these things are. Biox is looking great. You can see the colas forming. Cherry Wine is finally going into flower. And as I told you guys, the last 2 weeks of its veg, it grows about a foot a week. And they are right around 8 foot 6 inches tall, which is exactly how the mother plant was. They look absolutely beautiful, guys. It's like a wall of green in here. Those guys stalled out at about 10.5 feet tall, but as you can see, the colas are forming. Everything is really starting to come together. This is our biggest biox. It's just going crazy. But yeah, they are looking great. And honestly, guys, I've scaled back the Azimax to see if these bugs show up, and I gotta tell you guys, they're not showing up. You know, last year you would be able to look at a cola and you would see a caterpillar or a worm. Every plant had one, you know, and it was getting worse. And I mean, I'm hard pressed to even find any type of damage to these plants. I'm looking right now. I thought I saw some sort of damage here. Maybe. Can't even tell, to be honest with you. That doesn't look like damage at all. So yeah, I mean, it's incredible how well everything is really coming together. Now this guy over here is looking great. This one's what I'm talking about when I say we might be harvesting in a week or so. The biox has still got some time. We're going to be sending samples of biox in here in about a week. Here is OCCBG. This is, again, like I said, guys, this is pretty much ready to harvest. We got a few days. I've got to go to work, but then when I get back, I'm probably going to start harvesting. So this afternoon, I've really got to crack down and get this grow shed done, even though it's 104 out. As you can see, these guys, they're looking great as usual. And again, guys, see what I'm talking about with the dead leaves? We just haven't had a lot of wind. And so they're dying on the plant and they're just kind of sitting here. Normally you get some sort of breeze that just blows them out. So tonight I'm just going to come in here with the leaf blower and help them out a little bit. Here's Auto Sweetened. Just looking fantastic. 3 Amigos. This is the most compliant, consistent plant we have. And I expect nothing less from Auto Sweetened. Here's Afternoon Delight. Coming around, this is probably going to be the next plant harvested after these CBG plants. Afternoon Delight is definitely moving along pretty well. As you can see here, looking good. All looking good. Oop. There's a big cola. It's kind of leaning over from all its weight. And these aren't really a priority because these were grown for CBG and they're CBD varieties. So if we have space and time for them, we'll take it on. Here is the biox. This looks like a little bit of damage right here from something. I'll have to take a look. No, I don't see anything. Just be some dead leaves. But overall, these guys look great too. I don't see any major issues. So yeah, that's the grow tour. All the plants are looking fantastic. So guys, this is the beginning of the end, so to speak. Well, this could be our final harvest, who knows? But this is the beginning of the busy season. If you're growing hemp, you should be fully prepared to harvest within the week. You know, the early varieties are coming in now, and they will continue to come in through the entire month of September into October. The joke is it's always called Croptober because it's a busy month. So if you guys are watching this video and you haven't made any preparations for a drying shed or harvest, you need to get on that. Stop sending me emails about it and get going. That's what I can say about that, guys. I've been so swamped, I can't guarantee I'm going to get to everybody's emails. So please, please, please leave a comment below. It's easier to get to that. And, you know, get ready for harvest, guys. Get yourself squared up. Look at last week's video. Get those materials. Get a designated area set up. That's what we're doing today, actually, when I'm done filming this. Back into the shed to set up the drying area, and it should be set up for you guys next week, so maybe we can show you that, kind of give a tour. It might even be some stuff already hanging in there by next week's video. Actually, that's my hope anyway. But yeah, that's all I have for today's video, folks. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. And as always, folks, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I will try to get to you. It is a very busy time of year. But that's all I have for today, folks. So I hope you stay happy, healthy, and I will see you in another video.